Now at 10, a single mom of three talks about the difficulty finding affordable childcare. Plus, the 4 States Heart Walk returns. We're going to hear from a walker about why he chooses to walk. And Missouri Southern looks ahead to their big rivalry matchup against undefeated Pitt State.
The 4 States Most Watched News starts now.
Newton County, Missouri authorities say an escaped inmate is back in custody. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Michael Durison escaped from police custody on the 18th while being treated at Freeman Hospital in Neosho. Newton County authorities were holding him on a fugitive warrant out of Louisiana. Well, yesterday, police found Durison in a travel trailer in Joplin. He's facing several new charges in Newton County. Those include assault, robbery, and armed criminal action. Authorities also arrested a woman at the scene. An upcoming panel in Joplin aims to address child care challenges and possible answers to those challenges. Amy Kaufman is one member of this panel that was formed by the Alliance of Southwest Missouri. Kaufman and a few others started talking about the issue of area child care. The panel will meet next month and will include members from the Alliance of Southwest Missouri, Joplin's Chamber of Commerce, workforce experts, and child care workers. Kaufman says the ultimate goal of the panel is to increase the local labor force.
And in fact, it is cheaper to have a child in college. In-state tuition, college tuition is cheaper than infant daycare. So part of the problem is affordability. It's very expensive, and that's why people aren't in the workforce. They have to stay home.
The panel will meet October 20th at the Advanced Training and Technology Center in Joplin. It's open to the public, and all community members are encouraged to submit child care challenges of their own. You can follow the Alliance of Southwest Missouri on Facebook for more information. A challenge a lot of parents face with child care is the cost. Grace Van Sickle, a single mother of 3 in Joplin, has been providing for her children, but has had to switch child care providers due to the cost. One provider that she went to charged $120 per week per child. That would come to more than $1,400 a month. She now has switched providers and commutes back and forth from Joplin to Seneca for child care. That's cut her cost down to $600 a month.
Yeah, if it's closer to save me gas mileage. I mean, I'm driving 30 miles there and then 30 back every day. So yeah, if it was closer, that would be nice, but I also would like to know the lady.
Next week in our child care series, we're going to focus on the challenges child care providers face, such as retaining employees, funding, and facilities. Governor Laura Kelly of Kansas today announced her administration is knocking down a significant administrative barrier to joining the Kansas child care workforce. The KDHE and Department for Children and Families is now offering digital fingerprinting to child care workers. They say this will speed up the licensing approval process so child care workers can begin work as soon as possible. Let's check in with Doug for our first look at the weather.
Well, it turned out to be another great day for us today. Plenty of sunshine. We do need rain. But besides that, it turned out to be a nice day. 81 for a high, started at 55, average high 77, so just a few notches above where we should be for this time of the year. Clear skies out there, and that's what we're going to pick up as we go through the overnight hours. In fact, the entire Central Plains, we have clear skies. Looking at Ian now on shore, we're going to be talking a little bit more about him as he's still going to cause some havoc across southeastern parts of the U.S. over about the next 2 days. Temperatures cooling down. Carthage 63, 61 in Fort Scott. Independence a little bit warmer at 69. We have Grand Lake sitting at about 65, and by morning we'll be in the upper 40s to lower 50s. 52 at 6, 56 at 9, 68 by noon. High temp is 78 degrees. We're going to look into the weekend, Friday night high school football forecast, all coming up here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. This Saturday, walkers are going to gather at Missouri Southern State University for the 4 States Heart Walk to benefit the American Heart Association. Fox 14 and KOAM are media sponsors. Each year, walk organizers select a survivor to help demonstrate the reasons why people walk. KOAM's Jordan Nobby introduces us to this year's survivor, Logan.
That was right after her surgery. Pictures tell a story, and for 4-year-old Logan, her story is a miracle.
Do you want to go all the way to the top to see?
Shortly after she was born, doctors discovered a heart murmur and a pulmonary stenosis. Her parents learned she would need surgery someday.
Anytime I think your child undergoes any sort of procedure, it's, makes you a little nervous, and so I think that's kind of how we felt, a little anxious about it.
By age 3, Logan's symptoms had worsened. It was evident that someday had arrived.
And at nighttime, we could hear her really breathing hard and having some hard time breathing. She couldn't keep up with her brother. She would just stop doing activity. She would want to be carried a lot. And so those things were what we noticed most with her.
In April, Logan underwent a 5.5-hour surgery at Children's Mercy in Kansas City to repair that hole in her heart. Doctors also performed a pulmonary valvectomy. Her parents noticed an immediate difference.
She was up playing the next day, riding a tricycle before she left the hospital. No shortness of breath, not tired. Color was the best I've seen. So yeah, she did really well with her surgery.
Today, the spirited 4-year-old enjoys a quality of life that's brand new.
She's made comments, I can breathe better, and I'm not tired, and I can keep up with Charlie, or I can run, and she doesn't want carried as much, and she just plays, and she doesn't stop now.
Stephanie and Brandon credit the doctors and nurses with Logan's recovery and are grateful for the research advancements that made Logan's surgery possible. But most importantly, they point to the strength of one brave little girl.
She just doesn't let things get her down. She's just really a fighter.
Logan and her family will be at this year's Heart Walk. Our own Jordan Abbey is going to be there too. The doors open Saturday morning at 9 at the Leggett and Platt Athletic Center at MSSU. Hope to see you there. You can find more information at fourstatesheartwalk.org. Representatives from the Joplin community and state of Missouri learned about pediatric disaster response and emergency preparedness in Joplin. A 2-day training course provided by Texas A&M trainers discussed gaps that states have in preparing for the pediatric side of disasters. The course discussed everything from the initial response to a disaster to aftercare. Trainers say the Joplin tornado is an example of an unexpected event the city could have been more prepared for, considering the effects on children.
Joplin has learned over the years anything can happen in this community. We've seen the tornadoes, the officers involved shootings. We want to be prepared if this ever happens again. You don't want to be the community that said we didn't have a good plan.
The training comes before a large-scale training in November focusing on active shooter response. Coming up, some folks get active at Fort Scott Community College for a good cause. Plus, people in Oklahoma show their support to first responders for the Great American Relay. Fort Scott Community College is spreading awareness about suicide prevention by getting active. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
Heavy hearts are gathering at Fort Scott Community College to walk in honor of a loved one who struggled with suicide.
I think mental health is always something that can be spoke about and supported. I think that all of our family members and athletes could really use extra love, and I think bringing awareness to suicide can really help do that.
Fort Scott Community College cheer and golf teams participate and volunteer in the walk to show support.
It's important because everyone, like Chelsea mentioned, all have issues with mental health, and no matter what sport it is or what part of your life, so we're here to support.
No matter what you do or who you are, everyone needs a support system.
I'm a parent, I'm a grandparent, and I understand people need people.
This walk does more than just spread awareness. It also shows the community of Fort Scott cares. Reporting in Fort Scott, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
This walk gives heavy hearts an activity to participate in to honor their loved ones. Some folks in Oklahoma got out and ran today to show support for first responders and the military. It's part of the Great American Relay. The relay starts in Santa Monica, California, finishes at the World Trade Center in New York. One of the legs of the relay starts at the Afton, Oklahoma fire barn. Then people run to the fire station in Fairland.
Oh.
it's a project that needs to be done, so you know you have to complete the task and you go do it. Just one foot in front of the other. The first 4 miles a day was into the wind. That was a little rough. Then I turned north and it got a little nicer from there.
The trip from Afton to Fairland is 8.3 miles. The sky is no longer the limit with drone technology. Pittsco Education in Pittsburgh has designed a drone maker kit for kids in kindergarten through 12th grade. The kit is customizable, enables students to use the engineering design process to make their own drones. Pittsco Education provides hands-on STEM products not only here in the U.S., but in more than 60 countries.
It is all about making conscious decisions about I want a larger drone, a smaller drone, I want it to perform this way or that. And so it's a very unique offering in the market because most every drone is straight out of the box ready to fly.
The drone maker kits are on pre-sale right now for $70. They're going to be available for shipment in November. If you're interested in the drone maker kit or any other Pittsco products, you can visit our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. A venture capital studio in Joplin is celebrating the first cohort of Joplin area builders. Builders and Backers is a cohort and business accelerator program that seeks to help people grow their business startup ideas by helping them flesh out those ideas and maybe provide grants. An associate says all ideas are welcomed.
We always need new items, new ideas, new businesses, and I think it's important, especially for the Joplin area, because of all the damage that the tornado did years ago. Make sure that people are coming to Joplin and are wanting to build businesses here and are wanting to move here.
So far, 10 entrepreneurs in the Joplin area have gotten funding for their ideas. A little bit later, we're going to hear from a volunteer on how a high school is taking in refugees in Florida during Hurricane Ian.
Plus, we'll check the latest on Hurricane Ian and also look into the weekend coming up next. Well, it definitely turned out to be a great day once again for us today. Depending on how you look at it, of course, we need rain. That may be a great day, but plenty of sunshine. Temperature is pretty good. Humidity is low, even though we hit 80, 81 degrees. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Look at our past 36 hours, about mid-80s yesterday, right around 80 for us today, so a little bit cooler than what we have seen, and we should be a little bit cooler once again as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. 59 Nevada, 61 Monette, 65 in Miami, 66 right now in Neodesha, so it feels pretty good. Let's go to 7th and Rangeline, sitting at 64. Easterly winds are light, humidity is at 40%. We have clear skies. Really, the entire Central Plains, pretty much clear skies. So let's go to the west. Here's the beginnings of our next storm system. It's not a strong system, and it's going to take 5 to 6, 7 days to even get here. The upper level patterns really blocked up due to Ian and what he is going to do. He's going to kind of ride up the eastern third of the country and just kind of sit there. So it keeps that one storm system, our next system, kind of at bay for a few days. Look at the eye wall making landfall about 3 o'clock this afternoon. The eye wall's gone. Hurricanes like warm water. So it's sitting over the land. You're not getting the warm water, but on the south side, you're still getting the tremendous surge, that ocean water that is pushing to shore. But you can see the very heavy amounts of rain quickly moving central Florida now. Down to 90-mile-per-hour winds, so a strong Category 1 hurricane, and by morning, into the afternoon, it should go down to a tropical storm. So he'll be Tropical Storm Ian, but he's out across the ocean once again. Makes a second landfall here on Friday afternoon in South Carolina as a tropical storm. So this is going to cause some issues for the next couple days as Ian slowly winds down. Now back at home, we don't have much going on. Clear skies for us tonight. By morning, upper 40s to near 50 degrees. So kind of a crisp start. By noon, we should be near 70. During the afternoon, high temps, 75 in Nevada, near 80 in Miami. We'll probably go into lower 80s in our western counties, similar to today, maybe a degree or two cooler. Tomorrow night, we drop back upper 40s once again. And as we go through the daytime hours on Friday, temperatures a smidge warmer. I think most of us right around 80 by the time we head into Friday afternoon. So here's your day planner. If you're getting up early, 7 a.m. 50, plenty of sunshine again, 68 by noon, 74 by 5 p.m., high temp of 78 degrees. Let's jump forward. Let's go to Friday night four-state high school football. We're going to holding onto decent weather. Look at our kickoff temp, 74 degrees, clear skies, 67 by the fourth quarter, so it looks great football weather for Friday night high school football. 78 tomorrow, 49 tomorrow night, 81 on Friday, 82 Saturday, 83 on Sunday, so we slowly warm into the lower 80s. No rain chances until Tuesday and Wednesday, and I will tell you, it's going to be very light and very scattered, so, I mean, at least they're there, but it's nothing significant.
We need significant.
We do.
See if you can work on significant.
I will.
Thanks, Doug. A high school in Newport Richey, Florida, just off the path of that hurricane, is being used as a shelter for people and their animals. Roughly 270 people are taking refuge in that school. KOAM spoke with a volunteer about planning this shelter and what they provide to the people seeking safety.
There's a lot of elderly people, and with flooding, it just makes life impossible to get around. And if they have emergencies or anything like that, that way they can be transported to hospitals or wherever they would need it to be taken to.
About 75 animals are sheltered in a different location in the school. Still ahead, the Missouri Southern Lions aim to keep the offense rolling in this weekend's rivalry game against Pitt State. And the Joplin Eagles aim to bounce back this Friday night after suffering their first loss of the season. Jacob Leonard has that and more up next.
Well, this week is rivalry week for Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern football. The Gorillas host the Lions on Saturday afternoon. Both teams pretty hot right now. Pitt State's 4-0 and has made it up to number 10 in the national rankings. Missouri Southern is 3-1. They've won 3 straight games for the first time since 2013. Now the Lions kind of found their offensive rhythm the last few weeks, averaging 31 points in their last 3 games. Now they'll try to keep that rolling against the defense in Pittsburgh State that's only giving up half of that so far this season.
Their defense flies. Man, I've commented on how fast their defense is, and typically when you see a defense with this kind of speed, you say, okay, well, we're going to run right at them and run right over them. That ain't the case with old Zeke Wall and the boys up front. I mean, they're a stout group that plays really fast.
Their defensive line's pretty big. They got quick feet. Their edge rushers are pretty good. They jump in a bear quite often. We haven't seen that much. So it's going to be a challenge, but I really do believe our offensive line can step up and move the line of scrimmage.
The Joplin Eagles are 4-1 in their first 5 games of the season. Last time out, the Eagles suffered their first loss of the year, falling on the road to Nixa 49-35. This week, Joplin comes back home, looking to bounce back against Republic. Now, before that Nixa game, Eagles were allowing just 11 points per game on defense. Now, on that side, no doubt, catalyst for Joplin is senior linebacker Draven Van Gilder, who has, listen to this, 80 tackles so far in just 5 games.
I take tremendous pride in being there every play, and getting the tackles I get is awesome and everything. But then I look back at myself. I'm my worst critic, I feel like, and I'm always trying to be perfect, which I know I'll never be. But I really pride myself in getting that amount of tackles and being able to say I do that. But also I look back at all the missed tackles I have and the opportunities I could have had. It kind of drives me and burns in me to do better.
Local softball action tonight. The Neosho Wildcats, fresh off a win over Joplin last night, right back on the field tonight at home against Willard. Neosho wins another one, 6-2. They're now 19-4 overall, including 6-2 in the COC. Carly Kennard throws a complete game for the Wildcats while also collecting a 2-run home run. When the Big 8, 2 of the best in the league, square off tonight. McDonald County Mustangs at home against Nevada. Tonight it is Nevada winning in extra innings 4-2. The Tigers are 18-8 with the win and have won 11 of their last 14 games. The Kansas City Royals are down to just 8 games left in the regular season. The Royals are on the road against the Tigers tonight for Game 2 of their 3-game series. The Tigers won Game 1 last night, 4-3 in extra innings. Game 2 tonight, MJ Melendez, the leadoff man, goes deep for Kansas City. They're up 1-0. number 18 for Melendez. Bottom of the first, Miguel Cabrera with a man on. Takes Daniel Lynch up and out. 2-run jack. That is his 5th. Tigers go in front 2-1. No kidding, that was the last of the scoring. Some defense here though. Nicky Lopez opposite field. Victor Reyes out there, lays out, nice diving grab. Not a lot of scoring, but the Tigers top the Royals tonight 2-1. As for the St. Louis Cardinals, they earned the NL Central Division Championship last night with a 6-2 win over the Brewers. Tonight is game 2 of that series. Cards fall 5-1. Andrew Kisner had the lone RBI of the night for St. Louis with a solo homer in the 7th. I've been waiting on this rivalry game, this Pittsburgh State Missouri Southern rivalry game. Feels like all year, feels like a long time, but we're just a few days away.
It's good to see both teams doing well and then see how they compare. We'll be right back. Take time now to honor a local veteran. Charles Kleins served in the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam War. He has roots in Earlton and Cherryvale, Kansas, and we are proud to salute Chief Engineerman Charles Kleins, a four-state hero. It's getting kind of chilly out there, Doug.
It is. We are dropping back off into the upper 40s later on tonight. 78 tomorrow, 81 on Friday. High school football, Leonard, fantastic. Lower 80s through the weekend, not much rain.
It's funny because like we have 10 football Fridays for Press Box throughout the season, and I feel like it just takes like one Friday night of rain to like wreck the whole.
What number are we on this road?
This is 5.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're halfway there. So I appreciate you keeping us dry for most of the Fridays. Also, one more football note here. Our Pigskin Podcast, Episode 5, is out right now. Go check it out on our website or YouTube, Spotify. KOAM presents Pigskin Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
Previous 4 have been great.
Thank you. This one, I think, is the best we've done. We got off on some nonsense a little bit.
Check it out. Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.
Salon service